There is a lot of debate about the smartphone, which is basically, you can name it if you go to the Reddit or DP review or any kind of photography forum, which is smartphone is better for that reason, and a professional photography, professional camera is better because of this and that reasons. And to be honest with you, both of them are right, and both parties are wrong at the same time. Now I'm gonna get to the point, and this is just gonna be a talk. So those who are looking for super cool transitions, and this is not really for you. This is just a conversation about why I think we are currently living in the era of smartphone photography and videography, and that's the reality, and there is no going back. Now, be careful when I say no going back, meaning that backward, in a sense that taking photos in DSLR is a bad thing, or you're old school, in a sense. Now, let's step back quite a bit and start from there. Now, long time ago, we used to have film cameras. So now film camera, before that was even in a plate, and then film came in, like a big sheets of film. Then there's a 35 film for the movies and everything. Then the cameras. Then you had the medium format, like all kind of format. That was the analog era, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, that was not that era. The camera, SLR cameras mostly. Let's simplify it for a little bit. The SLR cameras was not really democratized, was not for everybody, essentially. The reason why, because there is a lot of process behind it. First of all, each photo used to cost money, so you could not really have time to waste your film. Second, logistically, you need to put your film inside the camera and then make sure that you have the right adjustment, and you cannot open it, otherwise your whole rolls of films are gone because it's exposed to the light. And then you need to put it back to your canister, send it to a laboratory. They will develop your film, then they will print your film, they will send you to your home, or you have to go to the laboratory to pick it up, etc., etc., etc. Same goes for your professional photography for wedding, or your studio photography for your resume or passports, and etc. Once the lab is shut down, you would have lost your films, or you have to go and pick it up if they're nice enough to let you know before they shut down. That's the whole thing. Now, then came the digital camera, then the whole world changed like no tomorrow. Now, the photography was never easier. All you have to do is just to take the photo and load it up in your computer and print. You already eliminated buying films, stock films in your at your home of different types of color and or black and white. You could just take one photo and then change the color however way you want, and it was incredible. Life couldn't be that easier. Even today, you just shoot raw, even JPEG, you would be able to turn it into black and white if you want to do a micro adjustment into your software, even though in the JPEG you didn't have much of room to edit, but you were able to do that nonetheless. Raw, even better. Now imagine the people who used to shoot film. I said, God, this is a dream. This is a dream come true. If you were ecologist, you were saying that, okay, no more chemicals, no more like developers or vinegars or stoppers or fixers, no more loads of films are hanging on the wall for drying up and then printing it in the dark room. All you have to do is just pick up your camera, shoot, take the SD card out, load it up in your computer, and that's it. I mean, just by listening to that thing, it's like a music in the ear. And not to forget that you still had enormous amount of choices on lenses, or if you have a bridge camera, you just press the button, it just goes 300 mm, or you can go backward to the wide, to depends on the camera's average. I think it's about 24 to 28 mm. Point is, this digital camera made life so much easier. It's revolutionary. Now, fast forward, smartphone came out. Now, Nokia tried a lot with their cameras and everything. It was cool, but it was not really extraordinary. I have my own photos in my Facebook taken with my Motorola Razr. It was horrible. Then iPhone came. They didn't invent smartphone, they revolutionized it. Because they gave you the idea that photography and videography can be done from smartphone, and everybody followed. Now you have Samsung, OnePlus, iPhone as it is, the HTC. I cannot go. I can go on. And photography, with the rise of the artificial intelligence and the development of the software, it just became more easy now. Now, remember, we just talked about the film to digital, where the logistic was eliminated, especially the developing process. Now, you don't have to take your SD card from your camera and then load it up on your smartphone, or go to your laptop to Adobe Lightroom or whatever and edit it. You just shoot your phone, a photo on your smartphone, literally do a minor adjustment, crop and whatever, and then post it in Instagram or Facebook or wherever. Now, the purist might say now I said that this is not photography. I get it. What is photography? Photography is telling a story. And now photography, nobody takes photos anymore, they take videos. So the motion picture or the video or photography is a form of delivering a story and news. But the purist says, but they don't know the Sunny 16 rule, they don't know how to set up the shutter speed, they don't know what is aperture, what is the depth of field, and the composition, and so on. You are right. Let's give you the example of war in Afghanistan or what is going on in Ukraine. Do you really think that guy is afraid of his or her life, because anytime probably a rocket gonna fall on the in front of their home or on their home, and they're capturing those photos as soon as possible as a proof now that we know exactly what is going on? If that person didn't know or had these complicated cameras where he had to have a knowledge of how to expose, how to do that, had time to actually take those photos and showing it to us, we had to have the journalists dedicated in place almost everywhere possible to do that. That's not really possible in the places like war field. Luckily, because of this flexibility, anybody on those areas take up their smartphone and shoot photos and let us know exactly that what's wrong going on in the world. So my point is that we are living in the era of smartphone. It's just gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger. Smartphone photography and videography going to be replaced by digital cameras, unless the digital camera come up with this extreme awesome way of delivering the smartphone, the photos from the camera to the smartphone as fast as possible. This is where the barrier is. The bridge needs to be closed with the help of applications and softwares. That being said, yes, the smartphone does not have an extraordinary telephoto. It's just physically impossible. It cannot just beat physics. Software can do much, but it's just hard to believe that you cannot just zoom that far. So there is always going to be a place of digital camera, the dedicated digital camera. But the idea of using digital camera for everything is eliminated. You take your smartphone, you shoot photos and videos and you just post it. That's one thing. And you have a smartphone, the digital camera for dedicated things from now on. A macro photography, which is you need a dedicated, high-end, good quality macro lens with the extreme capability of ISO. That's DSLR can do much better. Extreme telephoto in sports, that's DSLR can do better. What else a DSLR can do better? Right on the top of my head, the bird photography, like a flying and then you can taking a lot of photos at the same time. Like any kind of extreme photography, DSLR can do much better. Underwater photography, highest quality, DSLR can do much better. Although the cameras, smartphone can go underwater and then take amazing photos and videos. So yeah, what my point is that back in the day in the film, it was not for everybody. Now, photography, videography is for everybody and is changing. Everybody has an access. Idea has been changed. Reason has been changed. Way of telling a story has been changed. People will always need a form of media to capture audio, video, and image. Now, you have multiple choices and each of them has their own places. That being said, a smartphone photography and videography is here to stay. You just have to learn to like it. And it's a good thing. It's a very good thing. Now, everybody can be a director, photographer, and videographer. All you need are, in my opinion, there's a bike coming out, 2 things or 3. A good story, a good knowledge of color, essentially meaning that if you are trying to use extreme yellow look, that has to be like giving you the nostalgic vibe of summer, or a black and white for giving a different kind of concept, complete blue look, because you're probably showing a story that is sad or in the end of the day, etc., etc., etc. You need a good story, you need a good knowledge of color. And finally, you need good creativity, meaning that you need to be special in your delivering your message to the people. You are officially not a good photographer, just because you have the best camera in the world. That days are gone. All right, that's it. Bye-bye.